All right, everybody. I hope you're all ready for a very fun run of Kitsune Tales by Debonair. So whenever you're ready, take it away.
Thank you, Sam. And hello, Twitch chat. The computer has been recovered from the void dimension. We're ready to go. Everything is going to be great. So I guess first things first. My name is debeaunairVT, but you can call me Bo. And with me, I am joined by the ever lovely, ever wonderful Rally. Rally, how are you doing this evening?
Fantastic. Happy to be here.
Fabulous.
So,
Okay, so we are going to be playing Kitsune Tales, and we're going to be running Kiri percent today. So just a couple things before we get started. The very first thing we're going to do is show you a magic trick. Unfortunately, I can't tell you how it works, not because it's a magic trick and I would be sworn to secrecy, but because I don't know. Setting all of these numbers to 1 influences a little bit of the RNG that the game has further down the line, and we're going to be using that to get some guaranteed items from some mini games that we'll see later on. This game, you will notice that there is a purple fox in the bottom left-hand corner. Say hello, that's Yuzu, and also say goodbye as soon as we load into the game. She's going to go away. We're going to play the orange fox instead. So, I think that's pretty much it. I know we're, due to the difficulty, we're a little bit behind. So let's just hop right into it, huh?
yeah, I think that sounds make ups for lost time.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So let's get going in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to do is swap characters, because as mentioned, we are not playing Yuzu, we are playing the Kiri percent of this run. Kiri is a pretty unique platforming character. You'll notice pretty soon that one of the things that separates her from your standard Mario type character is that she has a sword. And quite frankly, the fact that Nintendo didn't ever really give Mario a sword is a questionable choice, at least a little bit.
So, would you like me to talk a little bit about what that sword means and what it can do?
Yeah, this is normally when the game would teach us how to play this character. We've played it before though, so we're gonna
Yeah.
skip the tutorial. But we should probably let the people know what's going on.
So, the way Kiri works is Kitsune Tales kind of has that broad kind of Mario 3 feel to it. But where Kiri is different from your standard platform characters, she has the sword, and the sword gives her kind of a permanent raccoon tail or a cape attack, like a forward hitbox. But she has a bunch of other powers at her disposal. She's got a ground slide. She can do wall jumps. She has a ground block break where she can kind of bounce off things on the ground. And importantly, and it'll come up a little bit later, is Kiri's sword. If she attacks something with it while she's in the air, it refreshes her air movement. So it's going to be called Refresh, and we're going to be getting a lot of use out of it. So Kiri can use her sword to attack enemies. So rather than avoiding all the enemies, you kind of route through them, attack them, and you get a lot more air movement. And that's sort of her version of flight.
Yeah, and we, as mentioned, we will be using refresh quite a lot later. There's a couple of other sword techniques that we will be using but don't quite have yet, and we will be unlocking those slowly as we go through the rest of the game. Right now, all that we have guaranteed is our regular sword slash and then the standard abilities that Rally mentioned already. We have a ground slide, we've got a wall kick, and we can break blocks with a stomp. All of those are going to get a little bit of use. Some of them are going to get a significantly higher amount of use. There aren't many blocks we need to break in the game, for instance, but we are going to be doing quite a lot of wall kicks and things like that. So one of the tricks that we are doing early on in the game here is something called a slope jump. You're unfortunately not going to see it in 1.3, but we're going to be doing it quite a bit in 1.4, so I wanted to prep you all for it so you know what's going to be happening. You've already seen it a couple times in both 1.1 and 1.2, and the general gist behind it is that we are going to be sliding down a slope, and when we do that, we gain a lot of momentum. When we gain all that momentum, we want to try to keep it because we're going faster than the game would generally allow us to go. So in order to make sure that we're keeping that and hanging on to it, If you jump at the bottom of a slide, but you're not pressing any direction, you'll just go very fast and carry the momentum with you. And so then, as long as you don't press a direction or do anything other than jump, you are able to. Well, you can swing swords in some cases, but as long as you don't input any other moves or specific movement choices, you're going to maintain that that momentum basically all the way until you choose to stop it, or, like you've been seeing, falling into a pit.
Yeah. If anyone's familiar with playing Team Fortress or Quake, it's very similar to how rocket jumping in those games work, where you got to keep your finger off the W key to retain your momentum. So it works the same here. So you'll keep the velocity until you hit forward, and then you'll revert to the standard velocity cap.
Exactly. And since we don't have any of the rest of our sword moves yet, which are all going to be extremely important movement tools later on, we're going to be leaning on slope jumping pretty much everywhere that we can in this game. Now, the other important thing that we didn't really talk about yet, but has been happening, is we are playing on the lowest difficulty that the game allows you to pick. And the reason for that is, as you can have seen and have noticed, every time you would die, you are instead put back where you were when you died, whether you fall into a pit or touch spikes or hug a bad guy or any of those things. You kind of just get put back in the same place, but you have a Lakitu cloud. That cloud does everything that you would expect a Lakitu cloud to do. It lets you move extremely quickly in all of the directions, but your movement is totally unfettered, which means you can use it to go vertically quite a lot. And you can use it to, as we'll see in a little bit, clip into walls and do some interesting things that were most certainly intended.
They say that there's two uses of the cloud. There's the good use and the bad use. The good use is where we want to take an intentional death to take advantage of the cloud to skip slower vertical sections, and then there's quote unquote the bad use, where it's kind of an advantage in the speed run where you can kind of go for all of the hard tricks without having to worry about it. You make the attempt, and if you fail, you get the bad cloud and you respawn, and you save a little bit more time than if you didn't do the trick, and not as much time as if you completed the trick. But you give it a try, you do a couple runs, and you get better at it. You get fewer bad clouds and more of just the good clouds.
Yeah, for sure. And that is one of the biggest draws of this game to me, is that I do get the opportunity to go for all of the hard stuff basically every time. And yeah, as Raleigh said, you move so quickly horizontally that you are basically always saving time, whether you hit the entire thing or only a little bit of it. So we're going to be using that quite a bit, and you're going to see the same general idea applied to our major movement tools for the rest of the game as well. Generally speaking, in water, we're going to be going pretty slowly unless we can reach the floor. And when we can reach the floor, we can use our fun little ground slide, because sliding on the ground, it doesn't care if you're in the water or not. So we can always use this to both gain and maintain significant momentum while underwater. This is going to get replaced with a much better version of this later on, where we're going to be moving with a sword in front of us instead of just sliding along the ground, because the only thing that slide can't do is hurt enemies. But we will be getting
just cut in real quick.
Oh, sure.
Can you check your game audio real quick for us?
Yeah. Does it need to be?
I'm getting reports that there is something going wrong with it.
I see. Let's check it out. Where are you? Let's see. Did that fix it? Maybe. Uh-oh. Come on, Discord. Help me out here. Oh, maybe yes? I think that's probably coming through now.
I'm hearing reports that you're good now.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. The tech gremlins are apparently not all vanquished yet, but hopefully that was one of the last ones.
Yeah, we'll straighten them out before the runners to follow.
Yeah,
come
for
up,
sure.
So.
Okay. Well, everybody say hello to Monty. You'll find out why we call him Monty later, but that is our first meeting with the lovely cat fella. And we are he is a store purveyor and a an enjoyer of mini games, and so we are going to be visiting him a couple of times to grab some guaranteed items that we need for some levels later on in the game. Currently, what we are doing is we're just trying to get up to our first Aaron fight. They're kind of like overworld bosses that we need to do, and every time we do fight Aaron, we get a new power. So you can see there's like an icon with crossed swords on it a little bit past the ghost house of this stage. That's kind of where we're trying to get to right now. It's going to give us access to Blade Dash, which is the first of our suite of movement tech abilities, and it's probably the one that gets the most use throughout the run. It's just extremely useful in basically every circumstance. Until we get there, we're going to be doing a couple of things like getting this fun little Power Fox power-up, and missing the mushroom spring there. We are gonna have to restart you. Okay, yes. So one of the interesting things about Kiri is that she does only have the one hit, and we do use that quite a bit to trigger, the deaths when we want them. But sometimes we don't want to die, like in that situation. It just makes more sense to eat an extra hit and kind of go that way instead. 2-3 here is another very cool level where we are going to be employing the slope jump to just kind of clear a bunch of horizontal distance. And you can technically carry that all the way to the end of the level, but even though we didn't get all the way out here, you can see just how much time we actually saved.
Yeah, it's you go for as much as you can, and there's going to be like, you'll hit a block, you might lose your momentum, but you saved a lot of time getting there. So.
Ooh, I haven't been crunched under here in a long time. Well, that's not good. Please move. Okay.
That was harrowing.
It was. We are very lucky that we only got 2 there. The way that some of these blocks work is if you get caught between them, there's a very real chance that they continue to crush you, and it can happen anywhere between like 2 and 10-ish times. So you can imagine that's not really a best case scenario for us, unfortunately. But we are going to be able more or less to recover that time, because we are doing quite a few funny tricks this run, this being one of them. So we mentioned earlier... Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is the intentional crunch. So
yes,
what's going to happen here is Bo wants to get crunched into the wall and take advantage of the fact that the cloud doesn't want you to get soft locked out of the game, so it allows you to move into the wall, and they could use that to bypass a lot of the verticality of the level. And if they time it right, they can chain a couple of these crushes in these clouds, get the maximum duration out of it as they can, get all the way up, and skip the verticality.
And that room is super fun to do casually. The entire thing is based on left-right cycles and dodging ghosts by jumping into lanterns, which we should probably talk about at some point, actually. But yeah, we don't want to wait around for all those cycles to happen, so we're just not going to do it. And we are instead going to live in your walls.
Yeah. And here we're fighting the game's version of the Boom Boom encounters, the mini bosses in the middle of the level. This one has still has a kind of a predictable pattern, but they'll get a bit more complicated as we go. But now we're fighting Aaron, and the way the Aaron fights work is you're going through the levels in the story, and Aaron is your teacher, and she's been tasked with coming to arrest you and kind of collect you when you're kind of on the run, but she doesn't entirely want to catch you. So she says, hey, I have to bring you in. I don't have a choice. And, she's your sword instructor. She says, I'm going to use this new move. Watch carefully while I use it. So when you do the fight with her, she's teaching you one of your new moves. And after you complete it, you get an additional tool in your move set, which you can use for the rest of the game. And as you go from level to level, you fight Aaron encounter and Aaron encounter. She shows you a few more moves, and your repertoire of movement options expands. And kind of as you play through, Kiri gets a lot more ways to fly a lot farther and a lot faster.
And this is one of them. when you equip one of the Taiyaki fish, and then you die, it does give you a cloud, same as you would if you had, hugged an enemy or touched spikes or anything like that. Except this one lasts a lot longer, which lets us kind of move up that tree a lot faster than we previously would have. So we do occasionally use some items in these levels just to give us a little more consistency when it comes to hitting skips or getting out of our own way for strats and things.
It's an item that has a lot of use in the challenge modes that don't have the respawn cloud. If you can use the Taiyaki to have an insurance cloud, but since we're using the easier difficulty for the speed run, we can take advantage of both types of clouds. There's actually a third type, but we'll get into that a little later.
Yes, the third type is extremely important for World 5, and that is part of the reason why we have to do the magic postcard manipulation at the beginning of the game, because we definitely want those. They are very, very good for the types of the type of level that we need it for. So 2-6, this level has quite a lot of little umbrella fellas. We need to kind of ascend this hill that is going at a pretty
diagonal.
A pretty rough diagonal for us. We don't really have any moves that are super height gaining right now, so we do tend to use a couple of deaths here and there just to scoot through and go up a little bit more. But oh
that
yes,
was a nice, that was a nice thread in the needle between those shuriken.
Thank you. It was definitely intentional. We just took out this game's equivalent of Hammer Brother, those like Shiba Inu dog guards. The ones in this stage were pretty rude to us today so far. So hopefully the ones in the other stages will cut us a little slack, because they can be pretty annoying, truth be told. They are definitely rude, and they do have the same general problem that Hammer Brothers in like your Mario World 3s would, which is depending on how how many times they move and between each section, it can take quite a bit of time or not that much time at all. So what we really want to do is we really want them to come to us as quickly as possible so that we can just deal with them and get on with our day. Yeah, timing is a little rough. We'll focus up though. We'll be good. So that was the first world boss. Each world is going to have an elementally themed guardian character. We, story-wise, are trying to get all of the keys to unlock the elemental prison, where a friend of a friend is currently trapped, and we may or may not be a little bit responsible for that happening. So we're trying our hardest to make sure that we can help get her out. And since we're in a hurry, instead of just asking these fine folks nicely, Kiri's a little demanding. She knows she's in a hurry. She's got a mission. She just wants to be done with the whole situation.
Yeah, manners are not a part of her repertoire.
No, at least not in the beginning. She does get a little bit better towards the end, but so we're gonna be taking on a boss in each of these new stages now. This is the reason why we had to adjust the magic postcard. Now, what you'll notice is that looks suspiciously like the Monty Hall minigame, because it is. And you might also notice that I didn't do the game the way that math says you're supposed to. Generally, when you think of the Monty Hall problem, you think of, you are supposed to switch because there's a 2/3 chance that you're correct and a 1/3 chance that you're wrong if you switch, and the opposite if you stay. However, because the magic postcard is magic, and we set all of those values to 1, either a randomization piece in the code or some kind of a cache of some variety exists, and setting those all to 1 means that first one will always be in the left-hand slot if you open the left-hand door. So we use that to guarantee that we get a cloud from that minigame. We would not be stopping for it if it wasn't specifically a cloud, but as you'll see when we get into World 5, you do really want to have access to the cloud. It's going to be a huge time save, and we really, really want to make sure we've got that online by the time we get there. The problem child level is 5-3, but there's also a pretty tough one in 5-7, where it has a lot of vertical movement. Oh, I just didn't quite get high enough there. Unfortunate. It's got a lot of vertical movement, and that vertical movement is difficult. So being able to just do it with a cloud that we know we can guaranteed get is definitely a pretty solid proposition. So we do want to get both of them, and because we know exactly where they're going to be, we're always able to guarantee 2 clouds. So it helps out a little bit with some of the tougher levels for sure.
It's definitely using all the tools available to you in the category.
Yeah. I'm kind of bummed that the dogs ran away. I would have very much liked to have a pair of backup flippers for this ghost house, but it is what it is. So this ghost house is all water based, and it's got a pretty scary second screen. The idea here is, as you can see, we have a lantern. And as we saw earlier, lanterns do a couple of things. They have a couple of unique...
would you like me to take over?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so the way lanterns work in the ghost house is you'll notice that ghosts in Kitsune Tales they're not the shy type of ghosts where if you look at them, they stop, and if you turn around, they chase you. If you get too close to a ghost, they chase you the whole time. But the trick of ghosts here, as you can just see right there, is if they are in the light, they become intangible. They stop chasing you and they can't hurt you. So their ghosts are always going to chase you, but you can kind of use the glow of the lamps in the level to get them to stop chasing you or keep yourself safe from them in different ways. And in this level, it's swimming past all the fish to get to the bottom of the level, grab the lantern, and then swim all the way up to the top and avoid all the ghosts while the lantern protects you.
Yep. The other important thing that they do is it does show hidden doors eventually, and they use this a couple of times throughout the game. That one is definitely the scariest version, but there are a couple of other cool ghost house levels. So now that we have Blade Dash, we can fight Erin on her own terms. So what we are doing in this fight specifically, and for the rest of the fights that we will go through to get the rest of our abilities, is if you are on the ground and within a certain distance of Erin, she wants to use Blade Dash at you. She wants to try to catch you with Blade Dash, and our Blade Dash is literally the same as hers. It is like frame for frame the same attack, which means if we run to her to bait her to use hers, we will always be able to use ours and just go the other direction and not concern ourselves with having to fight her for real. So the only thing you've got to really do is stand in a good place so that you can dodge the arrow.
The arrows. Yeah.
And then once the arrows are done, you're free to just kind of go up there and use the bait setup. It's really consistent, it's really good, and it gets a little bit easier actually later on. But those fights are basically all totally canned now, and we can just do them without having to work with it.
Yeah, she does end up, if you don't have a strat already in advance, when you're kind of playing casually, you do have to sort of play footsies with Erin, and she does make you work on your anti-airs and your anti-anti-airs.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a ferocious neutral.
Yes. And we will be getting a couple of other fighting game adjacent moves soon. So we do have our Shoryuken and we do have our Blade Dash now. We're going to be getting access to a dive kick, which we use a couple of times in the run, but it isn't super duper. It doesn't see a ton of use, but it is useful in a couple of situations. It does get you back to the ground faster, and there is a hitbox on it, so that helps out. This stage is a very good example of what the game looks like when you are chaining refreshes together over and over again. That was a really solid ascent. I'll take it.
Nice and clean.
Oh, and then I ruined. I shouldn't have said anything.
Sorry. I think that one was my bad.
We both did it. But yeah, a lot of these vertical stages you can totally freestyle. The fact that you have access to a power like refresh means you, as long as you can think about it and you can put Kiri in that place, you can probably make it happen, which is extremely good. Okay, so coming up, we are going to be on a screen where everybody can just take a break. So everybody be prepared. Go pet your dog, donate to the charity, pet somebody else's dog, post pictures of your dog somewhere. It's all worth doing.
Now's your time. Send in a donation. You know, this is dog.
This
time.
sounds like it's my cue.
It is.
Yep.
Well, that's perfect because we do actually have some donations.
Lovely.
From a little while ago, we have BC with $10 who was very hyped for Kitsune Tales. It's simply the message: Kitsune Tales. They had a lot of extra letters in there. And then we also have $19 from CJ. Shout out to Aries. Can we get some woo 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 and woo woo woos in the chat, please, for Legend Aries?
Woo,
because
woo.
Aries is the one who helped to resolve the technical issues earlier.
Heck yeah, Aries. Definitely woo woo woo. Get your woo
Yeah,
woo woos
woo,
in.
woo, woo.
You've got them channel points. Use them.
And with those 2 donations, we have also hit $1,800 raised throughout the entire event so far.
Let's go.
That's awesome. Good job, y'all.
But be sure to get up to that $2,000, that milestone, because at $2,000, we will be getting an extra run from Quo of Paparazzi.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
If you're not aware of what Paparazzi is, it's a game where you take pictures of dogs.
I can't think of anything better than that, honestly.
That sounds so good. Definitely get us there.
What better way to end speed dogs than with taking pictures of dogs?
Big agree.
But we gotta hit $2,000 first.
I think we can do it.
I think so too.
I know we can do it.
Don't let us down, Chad.
So this level is another waterfall style level, and it's there's a couple of the vertical levels where we would use the good clouds to kind of bypass them, but the way these waterfall levels, this one and the previous one, are designed, they have a lot of wall jump walls and a lot of like flying enemy placements that give you a lot of refresh, where it is faster to do the cool fluid strats, and in a casual playthrough, or just kind of like once you sort of get the hang of how Kiri works, they're really fun to route through and try to get a good consistent line on. This stage is a little different though. This one refuses to break.
I've been trying for a long time to break this stage, and with using all of the things that I'm aware of existing in the game. So getting crunched, using clouds to remove to turn on no clip, so you can't run into walls and things. Every time I've tried to do it, it ends up being slower than just doing the level. This is one of the few levels that we do as intended, or one of the series of levels, I suppose, that we do as intended. And we can't really do anything to speed it up too much aside from move ourselves a little quicker.
Well, if someone does want to, if you're interested in the game and you want to like explore the tech and everything and how this game works, and maybe contribute to the speedrun knowledge, I think that Bo would definitely appreciate having someone who can come in and figure out how to skip that one.
Yep.
Nobody knows how yet.
That one is a bit of a bear, and I would very much like to just not ever have to do it again. This is 4-4. This ghost house is extremely cool. Basically, as you saw, I couldn't, and all of our movement on the left-hand side of the screen and the bottom of the screen was all basically done by referencing the right-hand side to see where everything should be and where we need to go, and all that good stuff. So this is our next boss fight. This one switches up its attack pattern a little bit. Now it does 2 of the jump stabs instead of just one in the center, which is it's a little helpful because the jumps end up being a little bit faster. But we are always going to be trying to do a little bit of AI manipulation on the mini bosses, because they will always jump back to the corner that you are further from. So it ends up being a little more helpful and a little quicker to always try to put yourself on whichever side is shorter. The other thing that we've been doing, and we did it all but one time, is anytime we get an unlock like that, we're quitting to menu. Do I have? Yes, I do. We're quitting to menu, and it's because that is faster than the alternative, which would be running all the way across the room and then leaving through the door. The reason that we quit is, as mentioned, it's faster. The downside to quitting is that the item that you pick up from the chest is not kept. If you quit out to the overworld from there, you do not get to keep the item that you would have collected from winning that fight. So it's not really a huge problem for us because we can pick and choose which items we want to get. But they're, to get through the donate level, the pet your dog level earlier, what we really needed to do was make sure that we had that power fox specifically. And because we had that from a Kiri fight, an Aaron fight, excuse me, we did have to go and actually go through the door and do the whole thing. So we're usually going to be quitting out to the overworld though, because it's just a little bit faster.
Speaking of fast, we have a race against this cool, friendly ghost here, and normally, they come and they challenge us to a race, and you think it's fair, but a ghost is, incorporeal. They can pass through walls, and we cannot. So in the interest of fairness, Bo is going to even the odds and become incorporeal themselves.
Yeah.
Using the squish technology to clip into the wall and pass through the slow-moving obstacle that would otherwise, control the pace of the race. And in a way, it looks like it's, cheating, but we're really just putting ourselves on even footing with the ghost, who can do that on their own. And GG's.
GG's. Everybody GG's in chat. That was a good race. Good race.
Good race. So, kind of turns it into a more fair race.
Yeah, for sure. And that is, I think that's the last major use of squish technology that we have in the run. But it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up for this one.
All right. So the way this level works is this is designed to be one of your usual Mario-style invincibility star chaining levels, where the ground is all spikes and there are invincible power-ups that are spaced just far enough out that you've got to go through and maintain your invincibility. And on the first playthrough,
that's not.
That's normal. Yeah, that's normally how you'd have to do it. But because Kiri has that sword, and because Kiri can fly, it turns out that you can route the level in a way where you can use your air movement over the spikes. You can line up your hits to refresh by hitting the enemies available, and you can go through the whole level without using any of the invincibility power-ups. And the game does have an achievement if you figure out a route to do that. It is kind of a cool way to play the level, and it is nice that it does kind of work out to be the speedrun strat, but it is pretty tricky, so sometimes things happen.
Now we are trying to avoid the lesbian bacon. This fight is really cool casually, but it's just a little 14-second ordeal with Kiri because, again, sword. So now we're going on to World 5. Now, World 5 is pretty interesting because World 5 is... this is going to be the level where we get probably the coolest movement tool in the game, but we really only get to use it for the end of World 5 and basically all of World 6. So these stages are pretty big. Oh, we bonked. Do we get it? No. We're going to have to perish again. Unfortunate. That's the first time I've missed that in quite a while. We really want to... hugging that Tengu there specifically is something that we want to do so that we can skip the cycle on that rotating wooden platform and fly basically straight up, and then use refresh to grab the... to hit that bug, and then continue our way up. This is probably the hardest slope jump in the run. We'll see if we can get something here. Okay. I'll take it. That's farther than we normally get. Everything is a little bit hidden, so it's difficult to line things up the way that you would want to. We're gonna try to get no speed. That's okay.
Nice.
Pretty solid. We'll take it.
A pretty good line.
Yes. So next is 5-2. This is a a pretty cool level. It's got kind of like the entire thing is based on cycles, so you can more or less get the same level every time. And the only things that really change that are your personal preference as to how you want to use refresh to get through the level.
Normally the way you'd play it is there's a row of cranes you could ride on the back of, and normally for Yuzu also the cranes are kind of optional, but for Kiri it's just a great level that showcases how refresh works to kind of enable her unique sword-based style of flight. So as you can see that we didn't need to burden the cranes with any sort of assistance. Kiri can take care of it herself.
Yes, and this is our second Monty Hall game. As mentioned earlier, we always know where that cloud is going to be, so we're always able to use it before we come into 5-3. 5-3 is going to be a fabulous level for any announcements or donations because we're going to be doing this and staring at this for the next minute or so. So Sam, if you've got anything you want to toss out there, now is a perfect time.
Sure. So I just want to remind everybody that we are raising money here today. Speed Dogs, in thematic appropriateness, is raising money for animals, specifically Sable Dragon Rook and all of her lizard friends. So if you want to donate some money to, support a good person and a good cause, be sure to get those donations in. You've got the rest of the night pretty much to get that $2,000 mark if you want to see Paparazzi by Quo. So be sure to get your donations in.
I absolutely want to see that one happen myself.
Ditto, yeah.
So.
If that was an incentive instead of just a stretch goal run, that would be where all the runner's choice went to. That game sounds fabulous.
So what we can see there is the third type of cloud, where the timing isn't short or medium. It's as long as the stage lasts, and it's basically the equivalent of the P-Wing. And normally in the game, there is a village that you can go to that's kind of like, it's got that kind of Goemon fake 3D to it, and the Mr. Montgomery Cat hangs out in the village, and if you're playing casually and you're ever, struggling with a level, you have some coins, you can go to the village and visit Montgomery, and he will sell you any item that you've already discovered, and for a modest 999 coins, you could buy yourself a Forever Cloud, and I believe that used to be one of the early variants of this speed route.
It was, yeah. So you can see we're just past 5-3 now, and we only have 862 coins, and we're going pretty quickly. So in order for us to actually get to the required 999 to guarantee that we don't lose like a full minute and change on 5-3, we needed to take a couple of detours as we played through the rest of the game. Including like some completely different routing in World 3, just to guarantee that we would always end up at the appropriate amount of coins. Now that we don't have to do that because we know that the postcard is magical, but man, it was something else. It was something else for quite a while. All right, so this is where the Aaron fights become even easier, and it is because we are going to get 3 free hits. Aaron is trying to do the Spirit Rush, which is the fun, fancy flying move that we told you all about earlier. And because she's trying to show it off, she always jumps in the same arc, more or less. And we are able to nail her with an uppercut, and then we only have to do the switchback twice. So to kind of showcase what Spirit Rush is and what Spirit Rush canceling looks like, I'm going to try to... This is the first level that we have access to Spirit Rush in, and this is the first level that we're going to try to do a cool Spirit Rush cancel for.
Yeah, I'll take over from here. So the way Spirit Rush cancel works is, as you saw there, Spirit Rush allows Kiri to build up her key meter in the top right, and then she can sheath her sword, and you can choose any of 8 directions to do a quick draw in, and she accelerates very quickly. And normally, at the end of the draw, she does a really cool sword sheathing animation. Time slows down a little bit, and she can kind of, control where she lands. But we found out that if you use another attack animation before you get to the sword sheath closing, you retain all that velocity, similar to how the slope jump works. if you get the timing right, you can keep that velocity, and it basically follows the same rules that kind of like Quake, Team Fortress, Rocket rules as the slope jump. And since it's based off of your key meter and not world geometry, you're able to take advantage of it anywhere where you can run long enough to make the arrows fill up.
Yeah, and it ends up being an extremely useful tool for quite a lot. 5-6 is one of those rare levels where like I'm trying to use it where we can access it, but there's not a lot of great lines, and there's not a ton of good routes for us to take for it. But you can see just how much faster it makes you go, even just from that little demonstration. So now we're going to be going up 5-7. This is a level that I believe we could probably do pretty quickly by chaining SRCs and going vertically. But for our purposes right now, we're just going to use a cloud. The cloud is really fast. I really thought that guy got me. Woo!
That was very close.
This lets us go basically all the way up. And once you're through that bottom gauntlet, this top area, you can just hug the left wall and you can go straight up and nothing can touch you. There's one guy at the end that kind of looks like he'll get you, and he really believes he will, but he can't. And that's 5-7. Now we're going to fight my favorite boss in the game, the Air Guardian. There's a really cool quick kill on this that I found, and it currently looks a little something like this. GG.
Did you still have to respect the apples? GG.
You gotta respect the apples. I didn't do that in one of the last runs, but yes, very, very good. All right, and now we're into World 6. Now, this is the last world in the game. This is, we have all of our special fun powers here, and a lot of the routing specifically for SRCs and going fast is pretty specific. So I'm going to be trying to get a decent bit of these tricks, but they're definitely tough to pull off. A lot of them are, I know that there are newer strategies for this that I have not yet implemented into this route, but the new stuff looks super wild. It's extremely precise, and it does save time over the route so far. But it is it's not something that I've spent a ton of time practicing yet. So we'll get there for sure. But as of right now, we're just going to be trying to do the routes that we know. So in basically all of these levels, we're going to be attempting some kind of SRC. This one is going to be towards the very end. This is your pretty standard like rising water level that you would see in a Mario style game. Except the water is lava, so I guess it would be like a poison swamp kind of situation. And what we want to do is try to get through the whole thing in one cycle, and we
GG's.
Got it. GG's. That was a pretty good one. 6-3 has 3 of them. We're definitely going to go for 2, and we might try for the third SRC. Depends on if we're feeling spicy.
Can't hurt to try.
All right, well, we didn't get the first one, so that's unfortunate. But not the end of the world. Oh, the block tricked me. All right. Well, we're not going to get the first 2, which is a little unfortunate, but we do still have Geta, so we can at least hop down here pretty quick. So I guess now we are definitely going to go for the third one.
I believe.
We don't have the speed for it right now. All right, I'll take it. Could have been worse.
Good recovery.
Yeah, we're, what, 7 seconds behind? It is what it is. All right, so now we're going to go into 6-4. 6-4 is a cycle-based ghost house level. Oh, unless the dogs come all the way down here. All right, we're fighting dogs first.
I remembered you couldn't crouch that one.
I did. I've been trying to jump first more because they just kind of clock you right away and try to
I think
shoot it where
the
you were.
routing on this level is really cool, so I think I'm just going to not say anything and let you run it.
Ooh, almost.
Almost.
Missed it by just a touch there.
Yeah, that's a very, very cycle-based level, and it feels and it looks really cool to kind of hit all the cycles and just blast through it. So.
That block at the end is definitely the arch nemesis. Oh,
Oh, Cat's Revenge.
that's never happened before.
Yeah. Yeah, as you can see
He
in
said the thing.
I said the thing.
yeah. As you can see in this ghost house, our little spearman friend had a friend cat, and normally the cat would drop a bunch of flaming skulls on you. Normally this would be the part where we say, "Oh, they've got a friend," but we just go up and take care of them. But today was Cat's Revenge.
Yes. And you know, honestly, deserved. We've dealt with that cat flawlessly so many times. It needed a win. All right, this is the final Aaron fight. You'll notice that it's going exactly the way that the last one went. There's really not too much to it now that we know all her moves. Sensei has lost. The student has surpassed the master. So we're coming down to just a couple of stages left now.
This one is also a big slope jump acceleration based level, right? I think I'm gonna
an SRC specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we're more or less done with slope jumps now.
got the first half.
Yep.
So.
Now we need to deal with you.
Whoa, good recovery.
All right, we didn't carry it all the way through, but I will take it because we didn't die. That was so low. I was really scared the whole time.
Yeah, you were definitely cooking your socks there on that one.
Indeed. All right, now 6-6 is a cool tower climb. We have a bunch of vertical abilities, and this one is a lot shorter than 5-7 is, so we are more or less able to really just kind of get all the way up here if we want to. And we're going to be trying to use a pretty specific SRC at the end here. Really nice stage. Like to see that. Okay, and now we're going to do 6-7. I am going to do the baby version because I know that there are setups now to do bounceless by going all the way to the right-hand side to save some time. But I have not practiced that, so we're going to do it the setup way. Basically, if you make it so that the character's back leg is all the way on the seam between those two blocks, and then you do either a stomp with Kiri or use the drill hat with Yuzu, it will always pop you right down in the center there, and you'll always kind of land right on the side of that end block. And because you're landing on the side of it, I got grabbed.
You got hot bustered.
I can't believe you.
But this does give us an opportunity to set up. There is a secret in this level. We're going to keep it between us.
Yeah, nobody tell anybody about this. Okay,
Yeah.
this is just between us.
Yeah, that's just between us. Here.
Yeah.
GG's.
Okay, and now we're fighting the last standard boss, and then we're going to be fighting. Okay, now I'm doing this time because this has been giving me a little bit of trouble recently.
Yes, you say it's the last standard boss, but it's the one non-standard boss where instead of fighting the one guy, you gotta fight the whole army.
Yes, and we were able to do that fight justice this time, so hooray. Please stop shooting at me. All right, so now we're on to the last boss of the game. So we're going to be coming up on it here soon. Everybody say hello to Yuzu. She's back. She did some stuff probably during this run, and now she's going to fight the first phase of the mushroom. The mushroom, as you can see, is named something that isn't mushroom. But if you've played the game, you know that it is in fact a mushroom. Basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be hitting that orb 3 times with Yuzu and then jumping at it a 4th time. That's going to trigger a cutscene where Kiri saves Yuzu. And then we're going to be doing the second half of the fight with Kiri. And the way that Kiri does it is very special, as are most things that are Kiri related.
It definitely cuts to the chase.
Yes. So here we're going to get the cutscene. This one is skippable. Once we deal the final hit to the orb with Kiri, we're going to enter an unskippable cutscene. So we will need chat to tell the foxes to talk faster. It's imperative to the safety of the run. So you can see here, we have a sword, so we don't have to agree with physics or anything like that.
Oh, that was close.
Oh, that was really close. Okay. Excellent phase 2. Now the foxes must talk faster. So please, chat, help us get the foxes to talk faster?
Talk fast, talk fast,
Talk fast, talk fast, talk fast. Cool. We're gonna be coming in a little bit. I mean, yeah, sub 49 is fabulous.
Time is coming up.
As soon as we land on his head, time. 4807, pretty solid. GG's, everybody. That was Curie percent in Kitsune Tales. Oh, I almost forgot. Chat room, we need your help. I need you to do one of two things, okay? Thing one, get a donation ready, okay? The donation text should be, and keep this in mind, let's go lesbians, okay? If you cannot donate, or you've already donated, or you just want to participate in chat, I need you to prepare, okay? The same message, but don't press enter yet. Don't do it.
Yep, you gotta hold. You gotta
hold it. We're gonna watch one more cutscene. You will know. But I'll cue you in. So everybody ready? Get your donations ready. Get your chat boxes ready.
Not yet.
Hold. Stay strong, chat.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there.
Hold.
We got the smooch. Okay. And let's go, lesbians.
Let's go, lesbians.
GG's, everybody. Thank you so much
GGs.
for hanging out with us while we played this lovely video game. This has been Curie percent new game in Kitsune Tales, just in case y'all forgot. I have been debeaunairVT. This has been Rally. It's been an absolute pleasure to run this game for yet another marathon event. Obviously, this one hits pretty close to home for a lot of us because we've all got pets to some degree. Not having a place to put those little fellas and take care of them is definitely a really scary prospect. So I'm super happy that the community has really come together and come out to help out with everything for Sable.
It has been a pleasure to join you on these runs and commentate and to help support the good causes and just run the game and just support good things and try to bring some good into the world. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a part of it. So thanks for having me along.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a pleasure to have you. I was saying earlier, it felt kind of wrong when I was recording a submission video for this earlier, and you weren't on comms with me. I was like, oh, I have to talk about everything myself. Interesting. Cool. Well, I guess shout outs for me because I know we're a little bit behind because of the computer gremlins. So I'll keep it relatively quick. But shout outs to the Rowdy Boys. Shout outs to the Binary Breakers. You know who you are. Breakers mentioned. And my name is debeaunairVT. You can find me a couple nights a week over on twitch.tv/debeaunairVT. I'm also on YouTube, although generally speaking, my YouTube stuff is basically just good stream runs. I haven't really started to do any kind of actually edited content yet, but I'm thinking about it. So if you want to see how this run has evolved, I've got basically a full history of runs all the way back from the beginning on my YouTube channel. They're unfortunately not on Twitch anymore because of the, all that stuff. But yeah, they're over there. If you would like, I'm also under the same handle on Blue Sky. Yeah, I think that's basically it for me. Rally, anything from you?
Yeah, I like to just throw my shout out to the usual knuckleheads. They know who they are. But today I just want to throw a shout out to Wither and Shoehead in the chat. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great. Awesome. We really appreciate y'all coming and hanging out. Those are great names. I like those names. Cool. Well, I think that does it for us, Sam. So if you have anything else before we get launched out of here. Oh, I guess there's one more thing. Chat room. Remember, especially right now, with all of the everything going on, don't forget to be kind to yourself and to love one another.
I think we can all agree with a message like that. Before we close things out, I do want to mention we had one more $5.01 donation. And it was $5 for dog picks to help scaly dogs. I've got a wet dog at home. Anyone else got any interesting dogs? And that's from Camomiles. So be sure to get your donations in for whatever kind of dogs you have at home. But I think I speak for everyone when I say that was a great run of Kitsune Tales. I think we all enjoyed that one a lot. And, let's go lesbians.
Heck yeah, let's go lesbians indeed.